You're listening to the Feather and Bone Podcast. Two witches talking about everything witchy and nothing at all.
And we're still in the exact same spot we were in
when you listened to us last week. This time we're actually going to do the podcast that we had started last week, but in our excitement at finally being able to hang out.
We took a brief few-minute break to discuss
Pone-bread.
Pone-bread.
And
gravy.
And gravy. And then I asked her if she wanted to go to Walmart with me later, and she asked me if I was insane.
No, I do not.
But anyway, we're going to talk about 10 forgotten ancient religions. Since the hour has passed where I originally tried to talk about this topic, and now I still don't know how to say his last name.
It's okay.
But it's Michael Van Dusen, Duisen. We're going to call him Dusen. He wrote the article. So we're going to talk about...
What if it's Dukin?
Well, whatever it is, that's his name. Okay. That's his name.
She's looking at me like, please shut up.
So we're gonna talk about these 10 religions. Now, as I kind of started saying the last time when we tried to start this topic, I'm sure that there are going to be some people out there that have heard of these because pagans have a tendency to look at and explore what other people might consider ancient.
Oh,
and
speaking of that.
Forgotten religions.
Speaking of that.
Okay.
I was scrolling through Facebook yesterday.
Yes.
And in one of the dark magic groups I'm in, somebody posted, so, what have all of you guys been reading during the quarantine? And everybody's posting all these pictures of these obscure witch pagan-y books. So I commented, I'm like, I've been binge reading a lot of smut.
What are you reading right now? Oh,
Men of the North.
Men of the North, yeah.
And then after I finish this one, I'm going to read your first one.
Oh, okay.
But it was funny because I had so many likes on that.
Yeah.
And that goes back to what you and I say. Too many witches feel like they have to be witchy.
Be pagan like all the time.
100% of the time. It's like, no, I'm still a regular person.
You know, and I think that when we talk to people about that, about like how you don't have to be pagan all the time, and they have that realization, like they feel almost invigorated about their practice again.
Yeah. I feel like it makes it more special for me.
Yeah. We're not all about that life.
Yeah, I'm not going to walk around. Like, I got irritated the other day because I had several people message me, "Merry meet.
Yeah.
Have a blessed day." And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That's such an old school, like, Wiccan thing.
Yeah.
And we're pretty Wicca opposed.
I'm just like, it's not 1527.
Yeah.
Just say, hey.
Like, sup?
What's going on? What's up, my bitches?
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't mean to be random.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. So the first one we're going to talk about is Finnish paganism.
Oh?
Yes, the pagans of Finnish.
I would assume
origins.
that's Finland.
Yes.
I want to hear about Polak witches.
Polak witches, okay. It's a polytheistic religion without a name. Finnish paganism was the indigenous religion of Finland until it was Christianized. Evolving from shamanism, it shared a number of features, including ancestor veneration with neighboring religions. The Finns also put great stock in the power of words and thought that both animate and inanimate objects had souls. So this kind of goes back to what we were talking about, like with the fetishes.
It's kind of like pantheism.
Yeah. Finnish pagans were intertwined with nature, and they thought the world was created from the egg of a diving duck.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. The main god of the religion was, Ukko. Ukko. The sky and thunder god. And his feast day, held on April 4th, was one of the most important dates on their calendar. He shared a few common traits with the Norse god Thor, namely a magic hammer, and thunderstorms were said to be caused when Ukko slept with his wife, Akka. So Akka?
Akaka?
Okay.
Wait,
A-K-K-A.
Oh.
Aka. In a weird twist for such a manly god, Yuko's sacred animal was said to be the ladybug. And it was known as Yuko's cow.
What?
Yeah. So, now this is just little tidbits of these religions. Like, if you really want to dig into it, like, this is going to be your chance to be like, you know what, I have to know more about Yuko's cow and why it's a ladybug.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to Google Yuko's cow.
Yuko's cow. U-K-K-O. Yuko's cow. I think that it's neat that the thunderstorms were said to be caused, when Yuko was sleeping with his wife, Aka. Or Aka.
That's some good sex.
That's what I'm saying. Give me some of that. The thunder.
Well, he popped up right away.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm.
When you put Yuko's cow?
I didn't even write cow. Oh, that is not how it's pronounced, I don't believe.
Well,
we will not go into that. You go ahead.
Well, that's all I have on him. We're going to move to somebody else unless you find something interesting.
Oh, okay. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Some others believe that Yuko's original name was Perkele.
Perkele?
Yes.
Perkele.
He's the most significant god of Finnish mythology.
I don't know why it has never occurred to me until this moment that there would be Finnish mythology.
However, I have found some drama. Bum, bum, bum! Scholars are thinking that he might have been made the main god as they were switching people over to Christianity and trying to make them monotheistic.
Oh.
Yes.
So I wonder if it's like they just chose him. I mean, like, that's the one that's going to be easiest to switch over to Christianity.
Yeah.
And that's why he's kind of like lasted through the times.
Oh, one of his other names was Pichka, which means long.
Oh.
Long.
Pichka.
Yeah. There. Okay, that's good.
Pichka.
I'll look up his cow later.
Okay. And I mean, like the ladybug, I don't understand, like, why. I don't think I've ever heard of well, I don't know, like the Egyptians had like the scarab beetles that they kind of, idolized.
Well, I think they were just everywhere, so they kind of...
Yeah.
They're like, we're out of things to draw.
But it never occurred to me that, like, that there would be Finnish paganism. That there would be this whole, pantheon of God, like Finnish gods. Like, it never occurred to me. And I don't know why. Like, every people will have their history.
Are there any Asian paganism things in there?
I don't know. We'll go on.
You didn't even read it?
No, I've not read any of these.
Miss I'm Always Prepared has not read it.
When I found these topics, it was so funny because, like, I had thought, not the Friday that I took off for the meat day, but the Friday before, I thought I was going to get to go home 2 hours early. Mm-hmm. But my boss changed it and made it a different Friday. I was so upset because I had planned on not working 2 hours that day.
Yeah.
That I refused to work the rest of the day.
I know, you missed me. You're like, I'm not working.
Like, I had no plans of working the last 2 hours of the day. So I used my time at work to look up topics for the podcast and printed them on the work printer. I would hit print and then, like, run like mad to get out there and get it so no one else would find it and be like, what? Anyway.
You're very stubborn.
I am.
You say I'm stubborn?
Yeah.
You have me beaten hands down.
Well, I think that the difference is that, like, most of the things that I'm stubborn about at least make sense. Like, that was petty. I will agree that the refusing to work the last 2 hours of the day, I was playing a gnome game on my computer. Like,
you weren't sending me videos of it.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't throw the gnome as far as I did the last time.
Yeah. Can't beat my high score.
I'm like, why are flowers popping out of its butthole?
Because it's planting flowers. Most of the time when I get that stubborn, though, it's not for petty, like, but when you get stubborn, it's over the weirdest stuff. What?
I was going to ignore it, but I can't. Look at the top notification on my Facebook.
Uh-oh.
What do I do?
Well, I mean, you have to join it. It's your dad.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, you could not join it and just be like, Dad, I never got an invite. Her dad invited her to join a private Christian group on Facebook.
For his church.
Yeah. Either you accept it or you lie to him and tell him you never got an invitation.
Then he'll just send it again.
So then you're going to accept it.
Yeah. I'll do it.
Well, then you could put it where you don't receive notifications from him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I can do that.
I don't know how to pronounce this next one. It's Canaanite.
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 Did you go to church?
No. Well, yeah, but I didn't pay
The
attention.
Canaanites were in the Bible.
My nose is stopped up, so I can't. Canaanite. Canaan like a canine. Canaanite.
No, it's not like Canaan.
Canaanite.
Canaanite.
It's also unnamed, which, how can it be unnamed if it has a name? This was the religion of the Canaanites, natives of the area between the Mediterranean Sea and the Jordan River. For thousands of years, the only evidence we had of their religion was from the Torah and the Bible.
Yeah, that was the land of Canaan. Was where it was their promised land after they got out of Egypt and all that.
Where they are a constant enemy of the Israelites. However, between 1927 and 1937, a number of Canaanite tablets were discovered on the northern coast of Syria. It was I didn't know about that. It was a polytheistic religion with a number of deities, the most prominent among them being El, E-L.
L.
E-L. The supreme deity, and Baal, B-A-A-L,
Oh, yeah.
his son, and the god of thunder and rain. One of the most popular myths was of a fight between Baal and Mot, the god of death.
Ooh.
Baal challenges Mot and is easily overpowered, leading to a drought. All the other gods, led by El, band together to free Baal.
To free Baal? All right.
Her name is A-N-A-T, Anat.
I think that's right.
Anat, the virgin goddess of war.
That's why she was angry, wanting to fight all the time. She wasn't getting any.
The virgin goddess of war ends up going to the underworld, slaying Mot, and freeing Baal. Influenced by a number of neighboring sects, it was slowly eroded by Israelite conquests and religious pressure until it vanished altogether.
Oh.
So that's kind of neat that, this thing mentioned in the Bible was its own fucking religion. Just another example of Christianity. Just taking whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking, that's interesting, that's mine. What's those seagulls? In
Mine. Finding Nemo.
Yeah. mine. Mm. Do you have anything to add about the Canaanites?
No.
Nothing at all?
No.
Okay.
I'd have to talk about the Bible.
Oh, well, we're not doing that.
And I'm Bibled out.
A-T-E-N-I-S-M.
Something-ism.
Atenism? A-10, because it's A-T-E-N-I-S-M. If you know that I'm saying that wrong, because let's face it,
Ben will know.
Ben is the one listener we have that knows just enough.
He's our obscure knowledge person.
Well, and then Shandy. I don't know if Shandy listens or not.
I don't think so.
Shandy also knows just a little bit of every fucking thing.
Shandy's like, he's not pagan, but he's not Christian.
Yeah.
So
but he knows just a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Ben. Ben's like, oh yeah. Like, I can tell you at least one key factor of this topic.
Ben, I'll come up with something that I get really excited about. I'm like, that sounds so cool. I want to learn about it. And he's known about it for 30 fucking years.
And then he randomly shows up at a psychic fair with an example of it.
I've got one in my car.
Yeah, want to see it? That happened. That's a true thing that happened. He randomly shows up and he's like, "Hey, remember talking about that? Here's one."
I found one in my glove box.
Yeah. Thanks, Ben.
He's funny. He's funny.
Which reminds me that you need to remind me, and Gwendolyn needs to remind me that the next time we see them in public, I have that stone in my car for her. Because I knew that by the time we were able to...
What stone?
They were having... Because they've been doing their videos.
I haven't been able to watch those.
I've watched a couple of the few first ones.
I got to see them there for several days in a row. I got to watch.
Yeah.
And then my life started... Goddamn life. Started happening again.
Yeah. Well, and okay, because I've been, like, having some problems, like, with depression. Like, not as bad as I was. But, like, there's been some recent life events that kind of set me back a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I'm having a hard time staying awake after a certain time, you know, and usually, because they have them around 8, and I'm starting to fade around 8, you know, mm-hmm. and then I kind of force myself to quasi stay up until 10, and then I go to sleep. But
don't try to call her on the phone after 8 because the conversation will suck.
Yeah. If you even get a conversation. There's been a lot of times it's just us silent.
Listening to each other wash dishes.
Yeah. Or I'm like, yeah.
Or she won't say anything at all.
Yeah.
And I'll be looking at my phone to see if we're still in a phone call.
She's like, are you there? Like, yep. So, but that's why I've missed the past few episodes. But they have one, basically, like, they've been doing it Monday through Friday. It's around 8 o'clock, and it's on the Rowan Temple of Light page. Mm-hmm. And it's just every day they're talking about something pagan. Mm-hmm. They were having an episode
she
about...
made her own incense the other day on the...
I know, it's cool.
I want to watch it and see how they made it.
But they were having an episode about stones. And of course, I don't like stones.
I love stones.
And the only reason I'm giving them this stone is like that I've already given you one of these stones. I've given your daughter one of these stones. Like, I don't know how I ended up with 3 of them. But it's the dragon's egg stone that we got.
Check out my palm stone.
She pulls a stone out of her purse.
It's my selenite palm stone.
Yeah.
I love it.
But I asked her if she had one of the dragon egg stones, and she said she did not. And I'm like, well, I have an extra. I'll give it to you. But I know that because it's going to be so long before we see each other just because of COVID and all that. And then, like, basically, like, a middle meeting ground for us is the Heyman house, mm-hmm. because they live all the way up in Clarksburg, Fairmont area, and then we're here. So we basically have to, when we see each other, it's usually at the Heyman house. But I didn't want to forget between now and then, so I put the stone in my car. So you need to remind me, and Gwen needs to remind me that I have a stone for her in my car when the time comes. So let's get back.
Do you think I'll remember?
No. Let's get back to this Atonism, I guess is how I'm going to pronounce it. It was introduced by Pharaoh, and I cannot say his name.
Oh, if it was a pharaoh, it was probably Autonism.
Autonism?
Probably.
Okay, Autonism.
Just
I can't say his name, but he was also known as Imhotep.
Okay? Imhotep?
Imhotep of Egypt.
Imhotep?
Imhotep.
Imhotep.
It was a monotheistic religion which was designated the official religion of Egypt during his reign.
Yes.
She's really...
I've read about this.
She's like, hey.
My face lit up. I'm like, that's right.
She's like, I know something. After he died, the old beliefs were gradually brought back. Mm-hmm. It was an obscure Aten, or how did you say?
I think it's Aten.
Aten was an obscure Egyptian god, and the traditional name for the sun disk itself. At first, Atenism was accepting of the other Egyptian deities, but over time they were all rejected. Because of its restrictive nature... Do you want to add something? No. Okay. Because of its restrictive nature, only Imhotep could talk to Aten. Ordinary Egyptians retained most of their old beliefs, which made the transition after his death much easier. Tablets found in the early 20th century stated that Imhotep had become more and more obsessed with his new religion, especially after the death of his beloved wife, Queen Nefertiti. Is that how you say her name?
Nefertiti.
Nefertiti. No, Nefertiti.
It is Nefertiti?
Nefertiti. I was like, no, Nefertiti. He was also the father of...
She's like, I will not hand you my paper.
He was also the father of Tutankhamun.
King Tut.
King Tut, who changed his name from Tutankhamun. I think I said that right. After pressure from
King Tut.
King Tut. After pressure from priests. A number of hymns were produced during the reign of Imhotep, one of which bears a slight resemblance to Psalms 104.
Imagine it.
But that's it of that one. So it's an Egyptian religion. You know, King Imhotep, he kind of did what we did. Like, we're going to have our own tradition.
The whole time you're talking about him, I'm just thinking of the Mummy movie.
Yeah.
Where those old press...
Imhotep.
I love those movies.
Well, I can tell you right now that my next cat...
Check this out.
What is it?
It's 2 pancakes with sausage in the middle.
Oh, yeah. Does that come from your...
Yes.
From Maddie's school food package?
Yes.
It's actually been pretty banging. Don't look in my microwave. It's disgusting. Like, you can use it, just don't pay attention to how dirty it is inside.
Okay.
Yeah,
she gets all excited when she sees what they're giving us. She's like, why don't they feed us like that at school?
Yeah, they don't have... And I wonder if they really do and she just doesn't eat at school.
I asked her that. She's like, no, I see it, Mom.
She's like, I'd look to see if I want to eat it. But we kind of did that. We kind of was like, you know what? We don't want to be Wiccan. Like, we want to just kind of like come up with our own way of doing things. And we're going to call it the Wildwood tradition. So we kind of did what Imhotep did. And just made our own religion.
Yes.
But my next cat, her name is going to be Arsinoe.
Oh.
Arsinoe was Cleopatra's half younger sister. And she was a badass. At like 14 years old, she overthrew Cleopatra and was like Queen of Egypt for a bit.
There's syrup in the pancake.
Yeah. Anyway, that's going to be my next cat's name. Arsinoe.
You know, the veterinarian's office is going to start dreading you getting pets.
I know, but I don't care. Be like, well, they don't call like everyone else. They're like, Scruffy, Bobo. Like, they don't. With me, the only pet I have that they say the name of is Cricket.
I like taking the new cat in there because they're like, Butters.
Yeah. And it's like, and if like, there's always a few people in there who giggle because they get it, but some people
God
don't
damn
get
it, Butters!
Yeah, God damn it, Butters!
You love saying that. Too.
Yeah, God damn it, Butters!
You're grounded.
So this one we're going to talk about. It's called Minoan. Minoan. Minoan religion. It's yet another polytheistic religion without a name, even though it's
Got a name.
Minoan religion. This was the religion of the Minoan inhabitants of Crete. It was very much in touch with nature, as bull masks with horns have been found during various excavations.
Sounds like something you'd wear.
Yep. There is even evidence that indicates the ancient Minoans may have had contests which resembled our modern-day rodeos, in which they tried to chase down a bull and ride it. Like many ancient religions, there was no centralized text, and much of the information we have is derived from cave paintings and various archaeological discoveries on the island. The main Minoan deity was actually a female nature goddess, making this one of the few matriarchal religions. There were some male deities, but they were usually smaller than the female deities and may not have been gods at all. In addition to the bull, snakes and double-headed axes played integral parts in their rites. During recent excavations, evidence has been found which seems to imply they participated in human sacrifice, perhaps giving the rise to the myth of thief. In my head, I know what it is, but it won't come past my
You look like a rabbit when you try to say it.
Theseus. There, it came out. Theseus and the Minotaur. I couldn't get it to come out. In my head, because I can say it in my head, but it wasn't coming out past my teeth. We've talked about that before. That there seems to be some type of, like, an impediment between, like a disability or something between, like, my brain and what my mouth can do.
It's like trying to talk to my daughter. It's like her brain goes faster.
Yeah.
Than her mouth can keep up with.
Because in my head, like, I can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I can't, for some reason, Theseus. Like, I have to really think about how to make that come out. So this, the Minoan religion might be something that, someone who's kind of more drawn to female.
Is that a Greek thing?
Well, it's on the island of Crete. So where's that at?
It's over in that area somewhere.
So that might be, if there, anyone listening is kind of drawn more toward, which, I mean, makes sense really because like Wiccan, we were talking about that the other day. Like, if you're going to be in a traditional Wiccan coven, then
you are going to be worshiping the deity that everybody else in the coven worships.
Yeah.
Or works with, however you want.
You have to be okay with a female being in the position of power in that group.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because something grinds my gears.
Oh, gosh.
I get irritated. All these people want to be in a coven.
Yeah.
If you're going to go into a coven and start running your mouth, you don't like how things are being handled.
Yeah.
You don't like the way the priest, high priestess, whatever runs things or whatever, you need to just get out of the fucking coven, because that's what covens are.
Yeah.
It's like, it's very organized, and I won't say controlled, because I don't want people to think, they're going to be controlled, but you join a coven.
Yeah, well, you got to look at it kind of like, when you're working at a place, you're expected to follow the policies and procedures of the place you're working.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with a coven. You're expected to follow the policies and procedures of the coven.
And in a coven, the high priestess is the final say on everything. Like, the high priest, he'll have her back.
Yeah.
But you can't join a coven and then walk in there and be like, well, I don't like this, we need to change it. Or I want to worship a different deity. Or I want to do things differently. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
You're joining a tradition. It's called tradition for a reason.
Right.
Because it's done a certain way. If that's not how you want to operate, then don't be in a fucking coven.
So I do need you to come when I first start my lessons.
Oh, why?
So that you can have that conversation with them.
Really?
Yeah. Straight out the gate. Be like, you're joining the Wildwood tradition. Yeah. You're joining the Wildwood coven.
Yeah.
So, like, because we've both kind of talked about, like, I would probably be like the head priest, like the head priestess, and you would be like co-head priestess.
Yeah, I just don't like teaching.
Yeah. So you would be like, you're almost going to be like in a traditional coven, the high priest role. You'd be like, you're going to listen to Bev. I'll
be like the person standing behind you with a gun.
Yeah. Like, you're going to listen.
I could have been a contender.
Yeah. So yeah,
I just get irritated. I see it a lot on social media. People squabbling over coven issues, and in more than one coven, I've seen it several places. It's like, then don't be in the fucking coven.
And that was a problem. And actually, that was one of the problems we had when we were part of that group.
So we left.
Yeah, we left. We did. Now I made some noise on my way out.
I did not.
But that's it though. We knew that because that was a tradition that had been around for a long time, and we were not going to be able to change it. And either you go with the flow or you get out of the river.
Yeah.
There's nothing
wrong with being a solitary practitioner. And there's nothing wrong with being eclectic. You don't have to be in a tradition.
And you don't, like, if you're thinking, because the whole reason that I got involved with that group was I was looking for community.
Yeah.
And I was still stuck in that Wiccan mindset, even at being like a solitary Wiccan eclectic practitioner, that like I couldn't be part of community unless I was in a coven.
Yeah.
That's not the case today.
That's not the case at all.
Like, I don't know if, like, I think it is changing a little bit more now, where there's more events and groups and meetings where everyone's welcome, you know?
I'm friends with so many people that are in completely different traditions and covens.
Belief systems.
Yeah. And I think it's so fun when we all get together. You learn so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're all able to, like, dabble a little bit in what everybody else does to shape our own practice better. I mean, people... just calm the fuck down. If you don't want to follow along and be in a controlled group environment with your practice, then leave and do your own thing. You can still be friends with people and interact with the pagan community. Mm-hmm. There.
Okay. Well, you know what? Grind your gears. You got to get it out. The next one, I'm probably going to say this wrong too. Mithraism.
I don't know.
Mithraism. Mithraism?
I don't know.
I don't know. It was brought
that sounds Christian-y, isn't it? Or isn't there like a Mithrael or something like that?
Well, this was brought to Europe from its Persian roots after Alexander the Great's conquests. Extremely popular among Roman soldiers, it became one of the ancient Roman mystery cults.
Oh, mystery cults.
We're all about mystery cults.
Where do I find these people?
Religious sects which were restricted to initiates and were generally quite secretive. Mithrius, I guess that's how it's said, I don't know, as he was known to the Romans, was the Persian god of the sun, or at least the airy light between heaven and earth. There is not much surviving text about this religion, least of all a central holy book, which may never have even existed. Most of what we know about the religion comes from the ruins of its temples. These were commonly located underground and were cheaply constructed, as the followers preferred to make a new temple whenever the old one wore out. A detail which separates Roman worship of Mithras from the Persian god is that he is often shown slaying a bull, which has led to a lot of confusion among archaeologists. One of the most important dates in the calendar was December 25th, which was recognized as his birthday. Because of this, a few other details, some people believe parts of Christianity may have evolved from this religion, although it's very hard to prove.
I just made an observation.
Yeah.
You know how usually when I'm in your house, because it's so dim, I get real tired? Mm-hmm. Since you've got the curtains open, I'm not having that problem.
Well, I've been trying, as part of my self-help with my depression, is having curtains open to let in that light, you know. So I have that one open. I have the kitchen, and then I also have...
I noticed the laundry room.
The laundry room open. So...
Thank you.
I'm trying. And then I noticed my poor little plant.
Is it happy now?
Yeah. I had, your husband had bought me, 2 Christmases ago, a Christmas cactus for Christmas.
You were like, oh.
And it was a very nice gesture, but let's be honest. The reason he did it was because you and I were talking about taking starts off his 100-year-old one.
Yeah.
And he was like, bitches, they're not touching my 100-year-old Christmas cactus. That has been passed down in his family.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're not touching it.
Yeah.
You know,
that thing is huge.
Yeah.
We have to move it with a dolly.
Yeah. So that's why we both ended up with Christmas cactuses that Christmas.
He was like, oh, hell no.
So, and the one that he bought you has bloomed and everything. Mine has never bloomed since I got it. Okay, well... So I'm like, oh, maybe, it needs a bigger pot. So that I went and bought a bigger pot and some new dirt. And, I did my, I was like, okay, little Christmas gift. Is he feeling better now? I'll forget to water it for long periods of time, so then I water it. And but ever since I've been opening my kitchen curtains, and I moved the pot into the into the light of the window, it's looking healthier, and it's doing better. And I think that I was like,
you're like, I don't know why my plant's not blooming. I don't water it, and it doesn't get any sunlight.
It's amazing it's still alive.
I know.
It really. I think you got food on your arm.
Oh, where'd it go? Oh, here it is.
But yeah, it's doing a lot better. The plant and I are both doing a lot better since we're getting some sun. But anyway, the next one, oh God. MANICHAEISM. What?
Manichism.
Manichism. Manichism. Founded in the 3rd century AD by a Persian man named Mani.
He woke up one day. This is bullshit. I'm doing my own thing.
Manichism was originally viewed as a Christian sect, but has since been recognized as its own religion. Its founder claimed that he was bringing together all the world's religions, including Zoroastrianism,
Sure,
Buddhism, and Christianity. In fact, quite a few Christian writings have been lost, would have been lost had it not been for this guy. Focused on the difference between evil and good, Manichism was known for having knowledge as its road to salvation. The highest...
I love it when you read and confuse yourself.
Yeah.
The look on your face is great.
The highest adherents to the religion were known as the elect or the perfect, and resembled...
I should join then.
And resembled Buddhist monks, although they were required to be nomadic. Its followers were great missionaries, spreading Mani's influence across the globe until it lost its popularity in the Middle Ages. Much of their downfall was related to the many persecutions they suffered at the hands of the Chinese government.
Oh!
The ancient Roman government.
I'm shocked!
Yeah. The ancient Roman government... or the Catholic Church. So they had the Chinese, the Romans, and the Catholic Church after them. Can you imagine the Chinese, the Romans, and then the Catholic Church being like, you know what, Manny's got to go.
You're done.
They had a meeting.
Yeah.
And they were like, they met at some pub, and they're like, listen, Manny has got to go.
Yeah.
This bullshit of trying to join all of us together and make one super religion.
He's fucking with our money.
It was like he was the Walmart of his time.
Yeah.
Manny was he's like, I know, we'll just put everything all together.
Yeah.
Just one stop. Okay, for all your religious needs. The greatest myth of Manichism is perhaps their creation myth, which describes a battle waged between the world of light and the world of darkness, which began as two separate realms. Adam and Eve were said to have been created by evil beings, while Jesus and Manny were said to have been created by the good beings.
Jesus and Manny?
Yeah, and Manny. In order to reveal...
This sounds like a bad
This
book.
is great, though. This
is like Velocipaster.
Oh, I got someone in the pagan community to watch Velocipaster.
Are they okay now?
She's like, what did you have me watch? I'm like, but it's great though, right? Anyway, Jesus and Manny were said to have been created by the good beings in order to reveal true spirituality to the human race. Many of Manny's writings have been lost, but portions have recently been discovered.
I made my whole family sit there and watch Velocipaster.
It's great.
I was like, I did it on purpose. You know me. I can manipulate the shit out of my family.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys never hang out with me. When we do hang out, we never watch anything I want. They're like, Jesus, okay. So they all sit down. Of course, not my son. He can't be.
Well, yeah. When you say that, I never include Mikey because he just does his own thing.
Yeah, he's grown. He's 26 now. He's just like, Mom, you'll be okay.
Yeah. He's like, well, I don't get what I want either. So
yeah, he's like, I gotta work. I gotta put up with meth heads all day. Like everything.
Yeah.
When I was a child,
yeah.
I didn't have any snacks. One time I was hungry. You handed me a bouillon cube to suck on. Like he turns it into.
You're like, yeah, but you like bouillon.
Yeah. Like, God. Anyway, so I made him watch it, and it's like they were mortified I was making them watch it, but they were so entertained.
Yeah.
All at the same time.
It's funny.
It is funny.
I don't care what anybody says. Okay, Velocipaster. I think they might have it on Netflix.
It's on Prime.
But we watched it on Prime, and like, it's great. I'm going to grab your pop. Oh, it's empty.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought she was going to knock it off. It's great. You need to watch it. It's funny. So the next one is Tengrism.
How many more we got?
After Tengrism, 3 more. Tengriism.
Tengriism.
Tengriism. Okay. One of the oldest religions in the world, Tengriism is said to have originated sometime in the Bronze Age between 3600 and 1200 BC. Developed by the people of the Atali, it's Altai, whatever, mountains in Central Asia. It is a monotheistic religion with heavy elements of ancestor worship. There is no holy book as in other religions, but many of the early belief systems has fallen out of our collective knowledge. However, it is believed that the Huns of the Northern Caucasus... I said that wrong.
I'm just sitting here thinking to myself that Ben's probably been initiated into all of these belief systems. And then you said Caucasus. This is just going south real fast.
The Huns may have worshipped a god named Tengri, Tengri, to whom they were said to have sacrificed horses.
Oh.
Yeah. There are a number of close similarities with Christian traditions, as is the case with a lot of pagan religions. The most important holiday is known as the Tengrian Epiphany, which takes place on December 23rd. The bulk of that tradition dates back to the 5th century AD and involves bringing home a Yule tree and decorating it. While it fell out of popularity during the Mongol area, it's still practiced to this day. There are even politicians who are trying to make it the official state religion. So I don't understand why it's on the lost religion list if there's like a politician today.
Yeah.
Being like, hey. But I don't know if he needed 10, so he threw that in there. The Huns, I know, were pretty vicious and great at war. So I'm thinking it's probably not a good idea.
Do you know that Attila's descendants, they can still trace his descendants today?
Because he spread his seed far and wide.
Oh, yeah. He would fuck people everywhere he went on purpose.
He's like, I'm raping you.
He wanted to... never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, he was... Anyway. Oh, man.
What?
Asherism? Ashurism. Asherism.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
Looks like...
You're like, from the way that
know.
you spelt it, I think that is correct.
I don't know what's happening.
And I don't remember if I apologized at the beginning of this podcast. I know I apologized at the beginning when the last podcast was supposed to be this. Like, anyone, if you've listened to this point, you know that words are not my strong point.
Even though she's a published author.
Like, pronouncing things, there's a lot of words that I know. I know them. I know the meaning of them. I know how to use them properly, but I can't pronounce them.
Yeah.
I seriously think that there's some type of like disconnect in my brain that makes that a problem. But anyway, Asherism.
I have a disconnect in my brain that makes life a problem.
Well, there is that. Asherism, the natural.
What?
It's the natural cult of the Assyrian people.
Assyrian
people. Asherism was nearly identical to the older Babylonian religion, but with one major difference. Instead of worshiping Marduk as the supreme deity, they chose to honor Ashur, Ashur. A polytheistic religion with thousands of gods, Asherism contained about 20 important deities, including Ishtar and Marduk.
Oh, Ishtar.
Oh, Ishtar.
She wants her holiday back.
Yeah. Since it is so similar to the Babylonian religion, Asherism, shares a number of common stories with Judaism and Christianity, namely the creation myth, the Great Flood, and the Tower of Babel.
Really?
Yeah. They also shared the tale of Lilith, the woman-demon hybrid who was said to be Adam's first wife. The New Year's festival was the most revered date in their religion. It lasted 11 days, and Asher was worshipped greatly during that festival. The religion was founded sometime in the 18th century BC and lasted until the 5th century BC, when the country of Assyria was destroyed, though it may have continued in secret for a while.
The country or the religion?
The religion. The country didn't keep right on going in secret for a while. The country's like, God damn it, I'm not being destroyed.
I'll just hide over here.
Hide to Pero. Oh, my sinuses. I took a pill.
You need nasal spray.
No!
You don't have to get the kind with the menthol in it.
It burns so bad. It kills me. Vedism. Vedism.
I think it's Vedism.
Vedism.
Pretty sure it's Vedism.
Whatever it is. Vedism is the religion of the ancient Indo-Aryans and was popular from 1500 BC to 500 BC.
Have you heard of Vedic astrology?
No. I don't really do much astrology, period. It can also be seen as the origin of the modern Hindu belief system, as they share the same holy text, the four Vedas. Vedas. Whatever. But there are differences between the two. It was polytheistic in nature, with gods falling into two categories: devas, gods of nature, and asuras, asuras, gods of moral concepts. Oral hymns were extremely important to the followers, and priests played a large role in the various ceremonies. It's said to improve the lives of the followers by pleasing the gods, which is very Christian-y. Got to please the gods or you're not going to have a good life. While they did practice animal sacrifice, it was not very common. Milk and grain were used much more frequently. Indra was the supreme god, and one of the most popular myths was that Indra and the children of Didi, the mother of demons, after Indra had killed most of her children, Didi began performing magic to help her last unborn son become more powerful than Indra.
Her last unborn
son.
Was she pregnant?
Yeah. So he killed most of her other children. She was pregnant with one, so she started doing magic to ensure that he would become more powerful. When he found out, Indra hurled a thunderbolt at her womb, destroying it, and the impact turned the unborn child into 49 lesser demons. So,
Really?
Yeah. And see, that's like where you and I have a problem with.
So I'm supposed to believe she pushed out 49 demons?
Well, he destroyed her womb with a thunderbolt. Maybe they just popped out like an explosion, like pop, 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 pop. Like I don't know. Ooh, are those frogs that have their babies on their backs, and then they start? You know that frog I'm talking about? Like they have their eggs on their back under their skin, and then like they grow, and then they pop out of the mother's back, and the mother's back's left all like holy and weird looking. Yeah, there's a frog that does that. You and I have a problem with religions with these like really crazy stories.
Yeah. What fucked me up? I was all right till I had to study the Tuatha. I don't know how to pronounce the rest of it. Tuatha De
Dunnan, I think, or
Dunnan or Dwanan, something like that.
Something.
I was okay till I read that, and then I'm like, this makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
Yeah. And then you kind of start looking at other religious stories, and you're like,
wait a minute. That was like my downfall in being Wiccan.
Who was it that killed somebody with the jaw of a jackass in the Bible?
Samson.
That's believable. To me, I think you could probably kill someone with the jaw of a jackass. I think you could.
That would hurt, getting hit with one.
Because I'm assuming they would have
I'm assuming.
Yeah. I'm assuming that they would have probably in a prison and sharpened the teeth down to make a shank or whatever. So that's how you could probably kill somebody with the jaw of a jackass.
Sure.
We have one more to talk about and then we'll be done. The Olmec religion. Olmec.
The Olmecs.
Olmec.
Does this go along with the Toltecs?
This is done. This is the last one. This
Okay.
is its whole other thing.
You're like, don't ask questions! You're like, wait, keep talking.
Yeah.
I don't know what this says.
The religion of the Mesoamerican Olmec.
Yeah, the Olmecs and the Toltecs.
Olmec people was popular from 1400 BC until their destruction in 400 BC. There is no confirmed reason for their decline, but volcanic activity or other environmental changes are seen as the most likely causes. There is no direct evidence of their religion. Archaeologists have had to compare relics with the Mayan and Aztec religions and look for similarities. Closely related to shamanism, the most popular god for the Olmec people was a jaguar god of rain and fertility.
Did you say jaguar?
I did. I said it like I was English.
You said it like the car commercial. Jaguar.
I said like I'm English.
Wow. It's okay.
Was a jaguar god.
You did it again!
I've done it on purpose now. Of rain and fertility. Although some theories say there was no main god, but 8 separate, equally important gods. Various sacrifices like blood and jade figurines were made to the gods, as well as a number of ritualistic dances and masks. Olmec priests were believed to have inhaled some form of hallucinatory drug in order to help them communicate with the spirits. So far, only 10 of the Olmec deities have been identified by archaeologists. Due to its early origins, the Olmec religion is said to be a sort of mother to the later Mesoamerican religions, as they share a number of common elements. So that's it. The end.
The end.
The end. I'm sorry. I know that I have horrifically, brutally butchered a lot of very important historical information in the reading of that information. But that's who I am as a person.
You know what I'm going to do today?
What?
After I'm done running around, I'm going to have a drink.
Where are you running to now? Oh, you mean after the whole day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I get back from kickboxing, I'm going to have a drink.
Supposedly there is a margarita wine at Aldi's
Can't have one.
that has a very high alcohol content.
I would be interested in watching you drink it,
Oh yeah.
but I can't have one.
When we buy alcohol for our next party, we're going to go to Aldi's and get it.
I don't drink very often, but when I found that Kahlua in my fridge today, I was like, wait!
Yeah, you're like, I have milk
You were on the phone with me.
and I have Kahlua.
I was like, holy shit.
Like, my whole day's been turned around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
So that was that was an informative, I hope, even though I butchered everything. Just kind of a preview of some stuff we're going to have.
Oh! I have a tidbit of information.
Related to the topic or just random?
Well, related to the topic
Oh.
we're currently on.
Oh, go ahead.
A good friend of ours went to bartending school and knows how to make a umpteen cajillion.
Which friend? Really?
Yeah.
She can Coyote Ugly it?
Yes.
Awesome.
I found that out yesterday. I was like, or the day before, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Awesome sauce.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I might be drinking a little bit more.
I figure at this point in your life,
I'm old enough.
you're old enough you want to become an alcoholic. That's okay.
Oh, I could never do that.
No, I know. You usually, like you and I, like when we had, because we had Yule
Yeah.
and we both drank.
Yeah.
And then it's like maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, we were meeting up to have a game night with everybody.
Yeah.
And we didn't even want to drink then.
No.
Like, we don't, like, once we have our fun,
I
it's
just-
like out of our system.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, I always worry. I have this guilt about calories and what the alcohol is doing to my body health-wise.
Yeah.
I don't know where that comes from. But I'm like, I'm killing my liver. And you're like, you've had one drink in a year and a half. You're okay.
Your liver's good. It's like you don't even take a lot of medications. Your liver's good.
But
I worry more about my liver.
all the pills I take are like vitamins and herbal stuff.
Yeah.
You don't see any actual pharmaceutical.
That reminds me, I need to give you that cinnamon.
Okay.
I've been meaning to give you the cinnamon capsules for a bit.
Okay.
So anyway, some upcoming topics. We're going to have in the next few podcasts. We're going to talk about new gods and the future of paganism and witchcraft. We're also going to have a podcast on chanting, using chants in your practice.
Uh-huh.
We're going to have a podcast where we're going to talk about science and witchcraft. Because you and I are big on
This is what I want. This is the drink I want to try. She's reading it. I'm not saying it out loud. I want to try it so much that I took a screenshot of the
Do you
conversation.
want me to say it out loud or no?
No.
Okay.
Hey, you know I don't share.
We're going to change that name to
Dirty Cheryl.
yeah. It's going to be in honor of you.
A Dirty Cheryl.
A dirty Cheryl.
Ben, you know what? In 2 weeks, when Ben hears this podcast,
Yeah.
we're going to get a message. What is in this drink?
Yeah, what exactly is in a dirty Cheryl? Disappointment. Disappointment and ice.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
All right, guys. I'm fading.
You've been listening to the Feather and Bone podcast.
I'm going to go home and hug Ken and
Yeah.
tell him he gets on my nerves.
You can find us on the internet, featherandbone.net, and of course the Facebook group. You can look us up on Facebook.
Let's get that stuff and have them on my birthday.
Dirty Cheryl's on your birthday?
Yeah.
Okay. That'll be fun.
Next week.
I think that's it.
Ooh.
Remember,
Yeah.
it's
It's magic.
it's magic, motherfuckers.